Good morning and welcome everyone to this webinar for the presentations of Hepro Response. Together with me, I have James Jacobs, Head of Exports from Hepro. Morning, James.
Good morning, Anders. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Me is my name is Anders Gensmark and I'm Head of Sales of Skyresponse. And together we will take you through our solution for the market and show you on a high level perspective how it looks like and the way it works and our joint offer to you as a partner together with the Skyresponse and Hepro. So here's the overview of our agenda. We will have some time in the end for questions and answers, so please feel free to submit questions along the way and we will look into them by the end of the webinar.
Absolutely. So my name is James and probably know some of you who are on the webinar today. Welcome to our joint webinar, and I work as Head of Exports. So everything we've been successful with in Norway, we try to take outside. We've got particular focus towards the UK and in other countries in Europe as well. So I'm very pleased to share some of our experience with you today, and hopefully this is something which can be of interest to many. Hepro, just a little bit of background. Hepro was established over 35 years ago. We're currently a small to mid-sized company, around 90 employees. And you may or may not know we're owned by the life science company or corporation AdLife, which sits in Sweden. We are in that group. We are the leading company in the health technology sector. So our company is divided into two divisions. The one obviously with the digital health technology, which we're working with for about 8 to 9 years now in Norway and in Sweden. And the other side of it is the technical aids for adults and for children. So obviously we'll be talking specifically about the digital technology solutions we have today together with Skyresponse. And just to give you an idea, we serve currently in our home market over half of all the Norwegian municipalities, so local authorities and councils. And we have other international partnerships. So that's just a brief overview of Hepro. Over to you, Anders.
Yeah, Skyresponse, the software side in this solution, and also a general software platform within care, facility management and personal security. So we've been around since 2012 and been fully digital basically since 2014. And we had our first digital response center in 2016. Our software today serves more than 800 end customers, municipalities and organizations via partners like Hepro and many other partners throughout Europe. And we handle quite many alarms every month, basically. That can be everything from fire and bed sensors and dispersed alarm units or whatever it might be related to social care services or nursing homes, etc., etc. And we have a lot of ecosystem partner devices and platforms and services integrated to the platform as well. So why are we doing this then together? First and foremost, we have a really long partnership together with Hepro. They were one of our first partners in the Nordics and have been a very strong development and business development partner together with Skyresponse in order to find solutions for nursing homes and develop solutions for nursing homes, covering everything from the actual service user all the way back to the solution provider, basically. So together throughout the years, we've been able to basically fine tune and really develop the way the solution should work to the market. And we also see that there is a big shift going on the market. Maybe not so much in the Nordics, but going outside Nordics down to Europe and or over in UK, where the digitalization is happening and so on. And we believe that our joint partnership and this solution can help other partners in other markets to basically have a solution that is been developed for a long time, and we believe that it's a good fit for the market, basically. Anything else to add to that one, James, on your end?
Yeah, no, I mean, it is, as I said, we have an excellent history now in the Nordics, and we feel the time is now right to be able to open the doors and show this to other countries, and that's the intention. So if you can go to the next slide, Anders. A little bit about how this works. We obviously today's session is also aimed at those who want to partner with us on the Hepro Response powered by Skyresponse solution. And we're going to take you through some of the architecture at a fairly high level. And obviously, those who are interested will probably want to come back and have a meeting together with us, in which case we can go into a lot more detail. But suffice to say that what we've built together with Skyresponse has been particularly successful towards the care home, nursing home, the institution side of the market. And these four things have to sort of really play together. The architecture, obviously, the back end, the solution itself, the platform, which is based on Skyresponse. What does the care home or the nursing home or the home setting require? What kind of solutions do they have today? Are they moving from analog to digital still? Do they need a full service provider on that front? And what are their needs in the care home? Are there dementia wards? Are there particular high rates of falls? All of that kind of thing. We need it's a part of it. We need to know that information and then provide for it. Obviously, the resident or the patient themselves are the focus for all care. So how can then the solution be tailored to meet those needs right at the individual level or the resident's room level, and not just en masse? And then obviously, how does this work together with the local authority, the municipality, both from the funding side, both in terms of management, access control, all the rest of it, right from those who are sorting out care plans to those staff who are on a night shift, and maybe have a mobile device which is receiving alarms. So there's a whole lot of things which have to play together, and those things we've done well with in the Nordics, and that is what we're pleased to be able to bring as we go forward now. So I think we can carry on. Next slide.
Yeah, so basically in the back end on the software side, which is the Skyresponse part in the solution, is basically that just like James mentioned, we work together with partners, and we know that there is a lot of care homes or nursing homes that you provide to the market, and there's a lot of installations and so on. So what we are heavily focusing on platform-wise is to try and make a solution, obviously cloud-based, since we're digital, and we're 100% cloud solution, meaning that we're hosted on one of the biggest public clouds, AWS. And we, on that, has a solution where you will work with a distributed working methodology, meaning that you will be able to serve all the local authority and municipalities care homes that use the solution from basically any way you want. So anything that is related to the platform, you can access it anywhere and work with it anywhere in that sense. And together with our partners, Hepro in this case, is of course that we also, with the support of interoperability and having a vendor independent solution and APIs and so on, we've been able to build a solution together with Hepro over time and adapt it and change it over time to support the needs they've been having to the market, basically. We obviously on cloud-based solution, the flexibility and scalability is a part of the core, and security is also one of the most important parts on our end. So we take that very heavily, and have invested very much in both ISO 27001, which is basically information security, but also when it comes to cybersecurity and data protections and GDPR, etc., etc. We can carry on to the next one. So it's a multi-tenant solution, meaning that our partners or customers are sharing the same kind of infrastructure. And that also means that we have basically, with releases and new features and so on, that is pushed to every environment that we have set up. So using the SaaS solution means that you will be have the benefits of new features along the way with automatically by every release, basically. So when we do things, adding new features or improving existing features and so on, they will be delivered within the solution. It also scales up and down, and that in that sense with the multi-tenant solution, meaning that we don't really have limitations based on number of servers or anything like that. And that's the benefits on the cloud perspective. And of course, I mean, like I mentioned on the previous slide, care home operators or resellers, partners, even customers can basically access all the user and data for the service user that is connected to the platform. And we also provide, looking in from a partner perspective, a multi-level administration, meaning that you will build your organizations in some sort of a umbrella. So you will be able to, as a solution provider, reseller, have access to all the data for the support and all those kind of things. Little bit just to show you about the scalability. So when a couple of years back, quite many years now, almost 10 years, you can see that we had around 6,500 alarms, and today we handle more than 13. I would say that it's actually 14+ million alarms. So the scale of the solution is basically endless in that sense, which can generate some comfort on looking into if you have many installations or how does it scale over time, etc., etc. And like previous mentioned, working with AWS as a part of the infrastructure in our services gives a lot of security management in that sense, and AWS obviously takes all those kind of security and data protection on a very serious matter. So here are some of the services that we benefit from. Everything from identity and access management to data protection and incident response and all that kind of stuff. So the security of the solution and the availability is really important, and this is why it also worked the way it worked with being on AWS today. The platform on our end, the Skyresponse platform, has been GDPR compatible since it was in May 2018. We do a lot of data encryption, meaning that there is basically, you will need to do illegal stuff in order to be able to access the data if you don't have access to it. Of course, we have all the processing agreements and all those kind of things in place between Hepro, Skyresponse, but also you as a partner using this solution. We do regular security reviews on our environments. We have a lot of certifications, like I mentioned previously. We do regular penetration tests and stuff like that for the cybersecurity. And we are also able to measure data security in the same scale as you will as if you would have a breach, basically on a control room or things like that. So the audit trails on what's happening is built in the solution on everything, basically.
Yeah, so I'm now going to show you some, together on this, I'm going to be showing you a few different illustrations and schematics. So this is really just to try and give you an idea, and of course we can come back to this in more detail. But when we talk about the platform or the hub or whatever you want to call Hepro Response, we see that as the pulsating heart of the whole supply chain for care. And this obviously is then regardless of housing form. This also works brilliantly for independent living, those living in their own homes. Although today we're talking more specifically around care settings in care homes, nursing homes, etc. But there's interaction and all these integrations with various nurse call equipment and tech that we all know about today on the digital side is all talking together. And this is what is providing a fully functional ecosystem for the care follow-up, reactively and proactively, through effective alarm management, handling and routing, and ensuring that alarms are responded to in a timely and speedy manner by care staff or by the ARC. And this is what the whole ecosystem or hub side of things goes out from. So we're making sure that caregivers are not inundated with many different care apps and systems and complicating their work, then clogging up the system. That's very, very key. And when we look at what the care we're trying to provide, we are thinking of two people, two personas at the same time. One is obviously the care recipient, and the other one is the caregiver. And actually, in terms of a whole system, I would dare to say they're almost equally as important, because obviously if the care receiver can't get good care if the caregiver hasn't got the tools to do the job. And that's what we have seen has worked and has been honed and worked very, very effectively over the last few years in the Nordics. So giving the community management, so municipalities, local authorities, the care home management staff themselves to work within one alarm handling platform while incorporating numerous pre-integrated tech solutions, so various hardwares, peripherals, wearables, etc. That's a tried and tested thing over here in Scandinavia, and that's part of the offering we're bringing. So here you can see a little bit of the way routing goes, etc. But it's really to communicate that this is modular, it's very interoperable, and also we listen to those who we give care to or the housing form they're in terms of their needs. And where we see there's a new need or something which is coming up, which is of higher demand, then we work very proactively with integration then into our system, and we can say more about that as we go. Next slide, please.
Yeah, basically showing a little bit on the different kinds of flexibility you will have in the alarm routing or distribution within the platform, basically, and also an important part to mention is that you can give your end customer, the local authority or care operator, the possibility to administrate and handle this by themselves, meaning that if they need to change something, it might be that they need to do something temporarily, or they might need to change something for a week or two. They will actually be able to do that in the platform. And it's also in real time, meaning that so if you update this, maybe saying like we have here, all events during day will be sent to group 1. If we will need to change that to group 2, for example, then that will be a real-time change. So as long as you just set up the rule set and then hit save in the Skyresponse platform, the change takes effect immediately. So, but this is just giving you an idea on the flexibility on how you can distribute and route the different alarms and also work with escalations depending on if someone isn't responding within X amount of time, or if you need to escalate to outside resources or whatever it might be.
So Hepro themselves, when we started to work with Skyresponse, a good number of years ago, we started at a very basic level, and with a few integrations, basic sort of nurse call hardware and tech that was used for everything from a push button to the smoke alarm to a motion sensor. And the whole idea is we've grown over time and integrated more and more hardware as the needs have arisen. But for us, it's important to create this cohesive interface so that all hardware that's included in whatever offering it is goes through and is handled in the same interface. And that's very, very effective for those who are partnering with us, and then those who are customers of our partners or customers of us directly. These services are accessed directly from both web interface and alarm application. And we have the opportunity with Hepro Response to deliver a uniform, open and scalable future-proof solution, so that if there are other needs, then we can build those in as we go. The platform is under constant development, so there's always a lot we can say and a lot more we can add as well. But we will go to the next slide now, and we'll continue with what we have currently. This is a little bit of a diagram now, just to sort of illustrate a little bit what Hepro Response as a platform, as a hub is. There's quite a lot here, and again we can come back to this, but this gives you a bit of an idea. We see it as a seamless and scalable platform for all digital health technology and that integrated, and it is very much service as a software. It comprises of digital health platform, the response center solution, and the admin tool. That's the essence of it. So the Arc software is included. We've done a lot of very proactive work, and as we've seen also a lot of people are interested in this now from several countries in Europe, where we've included electronic patient journals or health records, or I'm not quite sure the best term, we call it the electronic patient journal over here, and Active Directory, obviously, integrations. And that has been a very key piece of work, which has proven very, very beneficial. And that's something we're open to look at in other countries as well. Obviously, we've got the integration of tech, the hardware side, the wearables, the peripherals, the response center, the Arc itself, which is in direct correspondence with the nurse app or the carer's app, and the health staff, obviously. The admin management, where all the alarm routing is managed, and Anders has already talked about this quite a bit. So it's very important to see that in terms of a management perspective, what's going on in a care home, for example, but right down to the individual level as well. The communication with the care staff within this as well. So an alarm goes, what is it? Who is it? Who does it concern? And who then can respond to that using the tech and the system that's in place. That's all part of it. So you can see right down to then the health staff's app. How are staff then monitored, or how are they registered present when they come to the person who's receiving care or needs care, and what do we do in emergency situations, for example. And also then just in general, this is a very proactive monitoring service with full operation, and we now can kind of basically boast we have an uptime of plus 99%, and that's very important in terms of scalability, and also that it's really robust, and that's something which we are now very confident in. So again, we can come back to this, but we'll go on for now, because we only have the time we have. So when we think generally nurse call, okay, is Hepro Response bringing something completely new? In one way, no. A lot of the tech that's on the screen now is very, very familiar to many people. So we've got the typical alarm buttons, the wristbands, the wearables, the door sensors, motion sensors, obviously fire, smoke, etc. And also then we've got the radio and antenna, or the node, which is number 10 in the middle. And we'll come back to that. But I just wanted to state these are the typical things which are in the nurse call system. We're going to tell you a little bit more about the intelligence we've built into the system, which can be very attractive for new partners in terms of positioning and registration of that, etc. So we'll come back to that, but I just wanted to state the type of hardware which is involved is known stuff, yeah, it's things which really work well. So next slide, please. Another little schematic here. This is really just to sort of put in perspective how the communication is working, and obviously we assume at a basic level that a care home particularly would have a fixed internet connection that comes in. There's a router, then we've got a 4G router also in terms of backup. There is communication here always with the cloud, as Anders was talking about earlier on, and then we've got, for example, how do we build in, this is radio frequency, which again we're all very familiar with, which talks to the wearables or the peripherals over radio frequency. That's fair enough. So a radio net is part of the solution which we then provide and build in, either retrospectively or in terms of a new build then right at the start. And then obviously the other side of it is how do the care givers then respond. If they're using a cell phone with an app, for example, how do they respond? That we usually fix and sort out through the Wi-Fi net. And again, we usually suggest that we fit a Wi-Fi system which is specifically for caregiving, rather than like the Wi-Fi net that you check Facebook on. So that there's a little bit of a difference, but we add that. And then we've got this extra part. Hepro itself has got an IoT hub where we do a lot of our integrations directly, and therefore we have this local gateway, which you can see at the bottom there. So the local gateway collects alarm data and position data from all the antennas which are around in the home and forwards this on to Skyresponse. The local gateway is controlled by a central server platform that operates as a standalone unit. And if the local gateway fails, the traffic will be taken over by the central server platform. And this ensures that the local gateway is not a single point of failure. So again, we can come back to that, but that's also been a very integral part of what we've built into the system. Next slide, please. Another little schematic here. Again, these things are probably familiar to many, but in terms of what we call a basic package, this shows you a bit of how a floor or a care ward could look like. And you've got resident rooms 1 and 2 there, and then based on the last slide, hopefully this will make sense. We've then illustrated how a radio net would be built out throughout the home with various nodes at certain points. And again, we've got a lot of experience with our technicians working directly with care homes, looking at the plan drawings, how we would effectively lay out the net so that it covers everything it needs to cover. The same then obviously with the Wi-Fi net. And then also something which I'm going to come back to is in terms of positioning is the placement of these PWSR nodes, which then help position staff as they move around. And this is a similar system to, for example, wandering systems, where on a dementia ward, you are used to residents wandering, and also they need to position them correctly. So access to cloud services are failover based on mobile data and will automatically switch to this. The central equipment, as you see in the top bottom left there, is monitored by Hepro Response at all times. Staff members are connected to the solution, obviously, by the mobile app, which we've already talked about. And if network accesses are down, the alarms will be stored in the radio receivers so that things aren't just gone in the ether. That's then taken care of. At all times, you've got power redundancy is provided through an UPS, so that if power goes down, there is a failover there too. Yeah, thank you. It was good timing. If we go to the next. One of the added things which we've worked a lot on, and this is localization or wondering how do we really effectively help position those who do wander. And at the very beginning, I showed you a little bit of a schematic, and in terms of positioning of radio nodes, then we've got a lot of experience with positioning these obviously indoors. The other thing is then the interface between going from an indoor to an outdoor setting, and then outdoor, for example, in a sensory garden, certainly in an area where people can stretch their legs and still be covered by the whole service, and that's very important. So in terms of wandering alarms, these are used to create safe zones for the residents in the care home. When a resident goes outside of their safety zone, the staff on the Hepro app, are alerted, indicating which resident has triggered the alarm and their location. And that on the right-hand side, you can see a little picture from the Skyresponse app depicting what type of alarm it is, who has alarmed, so where and where they are. Obviously, this is date and time stamped, and again, this is based on the wearable you see there, and the antennae, which are then placed around the home in and outdoors. We can go to the next slide. Similarly, now I know there'll be questions on this, so we'll come back to them at the end. Similarly, one of the things which Hepro has worked very directly with Skyresponse on has proprietary intelligence on this now, which is an excellent system and something we really want to be able to communicate in the best way to the market, because we really feel this is a huge bonus when it's taken into use. And that is the automatic presence for registration in care homes of the staff themselves. And this picture, just, we'll come back to this again later, but it just shows you how an antenna will pick up the movements of staff. And this is when they're responding to an alarm. Sometimes they don't have the chance to pull up an app from their phone. They just want to be able to know where they need to be and get to that position or go to that place as quickly as possible to see to that person. So if you think about this last slide, which showed, for example, a wandering resident, they have now moved from their room and they're now in the garden, for example. We really want to know that information at the drop of a hat, or the same second when the alarm goes. And therefore, we want to be able to know that movement. So that the caregiver isn't just going to the room of the person who's alarmed, but go directly to them. Equally, then, we want to be able to help the care home, both from a management level and also then between care colleagues, to be able to see, okay, an alarm has gone. Now my colleague has taken the alarm, and now they are starting to move to that position. And that is what if we go to the next slide as well, please. This depicts that very thing. And again, I think we can only say so much in a webinar. We can certainly come back to this in future meetings with any of you who are interested. But here you can see on the right-hand side where alarm has been taken, and then as the staff member starts to move towards the care recipient who is in need, their location is updated along the way. And then going back to this whole idea of a caregiver with the Skyresponse app in their phone can't necessarily bring up the app. So by wearing the pendant, as you see on the lapel of the caregiver there, this helps. This allows for the presence of the caregiver to be automatically registered wherever they are in the care home. And again, this has been intelligence we've built into the Skyresponse solution together with their team, and this has now started to work incredibly effectively. And now we've rolled this out in nearly many of the care homes that we have worked with in Norway as well, and abroad. So this is working very, very well, and it's something we really want to talk to those who are interested about this on. So if you go to the next slide, please. Yeah, this was just going back. Sorry, just go to the previous slides. Just repeating the slide we saw earlier, and this is showing again the lapel or the radio wearable that the staff member would be wearing themselves, again to connect with the nodes that are placed and the antenna, which then localize them. So yeah, on to the next one. Thank you. Alternatives, which again we all know about, to what I've just mentioned. Now we've sort of gone right over to the automatic presence side of things a lot in the Nordics, and that's working very well. But obviously there are alternatives which most of us know about, and that's obviously the NFC tags, which can be used. And this again, when we talk a little bit about the way we package this as a product for you, then we have a basic package, we have a sort of middle package, and we have an advanced. So I'm not going to give you the type of car types that might be, but we're looking at the full automatic presence is our Rolls Royce, and our NFC packages. But NFC tag is really the basic start package, and NFC still works wonderfully well by tapping a phone to say that I'm present at the room or in this position in a care home. That is very effective, and again, in many settings we recommend that still. The use obviously of the mobile app itself to say I'm taking alarm and register that I'm present as I get to the room, again either through NFC or other means. Equally, then you could then use that app or that phone to tag a resident's wearable and would then mark presence. That information, again, in terms of using the way this works with the carer's app and electronic patient journals, that works very, very effectively where we have done this integration work with the electronic patient journals, because it means one is registering a presence, attending to the person who's needs care, but then also registering what one has done when one attended that person and gave the care one gave. So the integration of the electronic patient journal, or the interaction there where I can then note what I've done and then press send, that goes directly to the EPJ, and that is then finished. That's closed, as the alarm is also closed and finished. So that again is integration work we've done over in the Nordics, and it has worked very, very well. And I know there are some parts of the UK and Germany, I think, who are interested in how this could work for them. So we're very, very keen to talk to you about that too. So next slide, please. So coming back to this slide again, we saw this slightly earlier on, but just to come say a few more words about it. The solutions are designed to function in all indoor rooms, obviously buildings, rooftop gardens, outdoor areas, and the general rule of thumb is that we can, in clear line of sight, most of this will work on the radio frequency of up to around 500 plus meters. So that works well. Obviously, we've got additional types of connectivity through Wi-Fi and 4G, GSM, etc. And that works with other type of tech, which could be integrated. Many of you probably know that Hepro is also working directly with Night Owl, or Nattugla, as we say, which is the camera device, and that has several connectivity options. So there are ways of including all of those things and extra tech into the nurse call setting. And in terms of smoke detectors and fire, obviously this is the work we've done over in Norway. It connects that directly to the fire alarm system, which is being used in the care home itself, and use obviously the fire panels, etc. for that. So the signal is also then used to control access to the resident doors, so that they can be automatically opened in case of fire, etc. So that goes as part of the project we do then with the care home. Next slide, please.
Yeah, so just a little bit on the management side or administration side, basically. So the platform provides a full admin portal, and that will be for you as a partner, your customers, your sub-customers, etc., and basically everything that is related to the service user, information-wise and alarm handling, can be accessed and managed in here. Obviously, with all the reasons and actions and alerts and alarms and so on, we provide a full audit trail, and that is also something then, of course, that will be able to present reports, etc., and what has been done and when and by who, etc. And also for stuff being updated or changed or deleted within the admin portal, we'll also have an audit trail, so we will be able to see if someone did any modifications, etc. Yeah, so there's basically since it's a software as a service solution, you will access this over internet any way you want. So you can be basically everywhere in the world and manage all your installations and service users and update them and stuff like that. Of course, we have possibilities to add VPNs and IP whitelisting for security, so not everyone will be able to have access and so on. The platform is role-based, configurable with access and permission, meaning that you will be able to say that a caregiver on a nursing home should only be able to act on alarms and maybe add some reasons and actions, and your more administration personnel will be able to update service user information and access more personal information or detailed information about the service user if you're working with that. So you are very much able to decide on who should have access to what and when and why, etc. And like we said before, it's a real-time change solution, meaning that when you do something in here and click the save button, it will be automatically updated instantly. Next slide. And then James spoke a bit about the alarm handling via the app, and the app we provide basically is able to do everything we can do in the platform when it comes to alarm handling in that sense. So when the alerts are coming in, you act on them, you will be able to do stuff like reason and actions connected to the event. You will be able to see the escalation or be part of the escalations or call your colleagues or resources, etc., etc. So the app is basically everything you need in a nursing home in order to handle the alarms. In that sense, you don't need to have a monitoring center or anything to be able to act on the alarms.
Just to add as well, on this, we don't have a picture of it here today, but we can certainly provide that later. But Hepro is also in the process of developing a duty room or a staff room board or screen that will display incoming alarms then from multiple rooms, not just so it's similar to the app itself where you receive alarms specifically from specific rooms or people. But we also want to be able to give you this duty room board for particular staff rooms so that you can have an overview and also give you for the emergency mode as well, ensure alarms that location is displayed on the duty room board, and also in terms of if all internet connections to Skyresponse were to go down, then you're able to still respond, and that's something which is we're currently working on and we can be spoken to about.
So a little bit about the model of cooperation. So the idea with the Hepro Response solution and what we bring to you as a partner on the local market, so to say.
Absolutely, and if we can go to the next slide and hop back to the one Anders was just about now. So we can, when we look towards partnering up with other organizations for this in terms of them being able to serve their own clientele in their own country, then this is a sort of model of cooperation that we suggest. We want obviously our partners to have complete platform access, basically the equivalent of what Hepro Response has today. Configuration on the technical side, obviously there's a license picture in terms of what it costs per month. The possibility to purchase hardware, some of the hardware we've spoken about already today from us. Most of the hardware we use today is Climax, and we are able to provide that to begin with, and the ongoing if necessary. We then provide technical support to partners as second and third line support. We give installation assistance, and obviously we have a lot of inter-company support. So there's always an open line. And in terms of training, then we will give every partner key training to the know-how and the build-up of this kind of thing. And we're not going to show lots of the technical drawings of that today, but again, we can come back to that. But in terms of all that we've spoken about today and how you would look at plan drawings of a home, how you would then design and then deploy that kind of thing is part of the package we're offering. So a proposed role for the partner in their own country would look very much like what's on the right-hand side of the screen. And you yourselves then would have first line support. You're looking at the installation, how this would be rolled out physically, the care homes you work with, together with support from us. And obviously your clientele would be the type of housing, care homes and private and public that you work with. Okay, I don't know if you want to say any more about the previous one, Anders, but I think that covers it mostly.
Now we can go to the next one. And just to basically repeat what James said, so what we will include in the offer is that we will support you as a partner with the order and configuration and hardware delivery. The long-term goal is, of course, that you will be able to do that on your own, but together with Hepro and Skyresponse, we will basically be able to order the hardware you need, configure it the way it should be, and also have it delivered to you as a partner for installation on site. Obviously, the project planning, virtual site service on where to put the antennas and radio antennas and so on, design, configuration, implementation, functionality and support agreement, of course, the software platform, and also important to mention from my perspective is that the solution is white labeled. We call it Hepro Response together, but it will be, if you would like, it will be your own brand to the market, basically. So we are in the background. Hepro and Skyresponse are supporting and delivery for you as a partner, but it could be called whatever you want and have the branding you would like on the software and the apps and so on. So it is a white label solution. So Hepro Response is our brand name for the market for you as a partner to have a understanding or recognition on the name, basically.
Great. And then finally, really to what we call the packages. So far we have 3 here, and hopefully we haven't waffled too much today, but you've given you an oversight of what we do, and of course you'll be able to come back to us and talk further about this. But if you wanted to look at 3 design packages that we currently have, we have the basic on the left-hand side, which is really a digital nurse call system, gives you all of what you've seen today, apart from the automatic presence, which is the 3rd package on the right-hand side. So you've got the basic, which is really is the basic. It gives you everything you need for nurse call. Then you've got basic plus wandering. That helps then position, obviously, as I mentioned earlier on, the care recipients themselves. Care homes often have multiple floors, so an effective, good system of that in terms of the management of alarms from the caregiver side and the care home management. So those receiving care, that's very, very important. And on the right-hand side, we have all the aforementioned, plus what we call automatic presence registration or monitoring. And that's something which you really think many will move over to in the next few months and years. But for those who are still on their digital journey from analog to digital, then we probably recommend starting even at the basic side. It will be very, very effective, a big step up, a big change, obviously, but also a very effective and pleasant change when one grasps the change and takes hold of it. We think that works very, very well, based again on experience. We wouldn't be talking about this today unless we had experience. So we have that to bring to the table. And then I think obviously package 2 and 3 are definitely where you've seen the joy of anything digital and really want to be even more effective, help those giving care, give them a good work day, good environment to work in. And obviously at the end of the day, those receiving care are priority number 1, and they will then benefit from the systems that we put into place together. So all of these can be packaged up in terms of price. Those who are interested, obviously we do have pricing for these packages, but we also have pricing for the hardware that's involved. But we will help to lead you through what this looks like. Obviously, if you've got care homes in mind, then we will talk to you about some of the details of that, first at a high level and then in more detail. And that will help give you the tools you need to then price up work towards those clients you're working with. Yes, I think that concludes almost.
So basically, if you have any further questions, if you want to know more details or have a case or want to discuss, feel free to reach out to both James and me. You can find contact ways over at heproresponse.com as well. And we will be, of course, very, very happy to have discussions and see how we can support and find possibilities to deliver a nurse call solution for you as a partner, wherever you might be.
Thank you very much.
I think
I don't know if there are any other questions at the moment. I have a colleague also from Hepro available if there are certain questions which will need to be answered. Okay.
Yeah, I think we have it covered. We had 3 of them and we replied to all of them so far. But again, feel free to reach out to James or me if you have any questions or want to have any further discussions. We're happy to support and help and delivering smart solutions for nurse calls, basically.
Excellent.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.